here's something that you didn't know. 2 of those special atomic bombs haven't gone off.
Okay, welcome. I believe we are live streaming on YouTube now. Welcome back, anyone who is watching Fantasy TE. My name is Nick Masick, your host. We also have Vital DeJuiced and Lonnie Cox. Welcome back to the show. If anyone would like to comment or add questions, get our opinion on anything, or just in general interact in some way, shape, or form, you can write comments while we are live here on YouTube, and we will respond probably. All right. Okay. Lonnie's like, I'm not responding to shit.
I won't respond. Nope.
Nick will.
Where should we start? I think let's talk about trades since it came up in our league. Trade drama this time of year, it gets a little interesting. Did you guys have, first of all, should I recap the trade that took place in our league? Did you guys have any, before you guys react to it, did you have any reactions? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I saw the trade. It seemed on the up and up to me.
Lonnie?
It didn't ring any glaring alarm bells necessarily, but two grown consenting adults.
That's what was most concerning about to me, is that it wasn't overtly really bad. But so here's the thing. This is the situation for anybody who's listening or watching. I'm going to break down a trade in our league. Now, we have a severe last place penalty, which is in theory to prevent collusion, meaning the teams that are out of it have more to play for because they don't want to have to do an interpretive dance in front of a bunch of strangers at an open mic to horrifically Nico Bowling content, which is, conspiracy theories, drugs, rape of animals, that kind of stuff. They don't want to have to do a dance alongside that. So pretty severe penalty. I'm not really worried. I wasn't really worried this year about going into it about collusion. However, the trade took place between 2 teams. One of those teams is vying heavily to make the playoffs and make a push into the playoffs. The other team is eliminated from playoff contention, mathematically eliminated. They're definitely going to be in the losers bracket. The other thing about this trade that was questionable is the fact that they're kind of boys and also not super tight with the rest of us. I put this.
Oh, they're boys?
Oh yeah, they're boys. Cam lobbied.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay, I
didn't know that either.
I thought that Chris was Ryan Scott's boy.
He's boys with Scott, but he's like boys with Cam. Cam, he lobbied Cam to get into the league.
Oh, I thought he lobbied Ryan to get into the league. I thought he was Ryan's boy like that.
A couple people. He's close to a couple people. Also, Cam maybe can pull up, try to big time us in some way, shape, or form, because from a comedy standpoint, he's he is a little bit more big time with his AGT recent shit and dry bar special. So Chris, maybe thinks, okay, if I do Cam a favor, I'll get maybe a little, get on a show here or there. I think that's certainly something that's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but the fact that they're boys, it's Chris's first year in the league. So his level of commitment is questionable. He's in a bunch of other leagues. And really there was another aspect of this that I didn't really like. And I'm actually messaged Chris. I don't think he shopped Dalvin Cook around. He didn't go out and, to my knowledge, he didn't go out shopping Dalvin Cook to the whole league to say, hey, can I get a better deal than this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but maybe he just wanted Chase. Because Cook, for me, Chase is better than Cook. Because Cook hasn't been performing that much this season, I don't think.
He did this.
Maybe if it was last season, it would have been a bigger, but this year he's been, I don't know. What's his like a running back rank? Do we know?
Yeah, his running back rank wasn't very high, but he's been nicked up a little bit earlier in the season, which, you know, it throws those rankings off. But aside from that, like, he's also a stud running back, and it's a keeper league. Now, Cam claimed he had forgotten that it was a keeper, one player keeper. That part of it is like, that just doesn't make any sense. But if neither one of them like are really paying that close attention and didn't realize that we're keeping one player theoretically, yeah, okay, it's a little bit more plausible. But I still think if I was Chris, yeah, it's an okay deal. I still don't think Chris's team is better without Cook. I just don't. If he's playing, whatever. The thing that I don't buy into entirely, and I did process the trade because it's not like overtly bad, but I did have a contingency that if Chris drops out or doesn't, if he ends up last place, whatever, doesn't do the penalty or leaves the league, that Cam doesn't get to use Cook as his keeper. That's my contingency with this trade. Basically, you know, to ensure that there's nothing shady about it. But I don't think Chris's team is better. And that's the part that I don't like. The only part I was like, really? Like, are you really getting, is Chase really, is the whole, whatever the fucking Niners running back is, dude, he's not going to be starting, barring some injury to Mitchell. And it's just so hard to get a good running back. I don't like it. I don't know.
But Mitchell was hurt last week. And Mitchell does get hurt. Yeah,
but Chris doesn't, it literally doesn't matter if he wins until week 14.
Yeah.
So, because he's mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So, like, how does it really benefit him? Anyway.
It does load Cam up with running backs. Now I'm looking at his lineup.
Dude, yeah, that's what I'm talking. Like, he loaded
up with running backs now.
Right.
But loaded. Hines is pretty weak usually.
If Cam had given up Aaron Jones in this trade, even though Jones is out, he's coming back. That would have had a better look to me than, and that's my point. I don't think Chris really went out and shopped around. Cam was just like, hey, let's make a deal, buddy. And he went for it. And
I'm sure it was more of that. I don't know if it's overt collusion. I think Cam might have just.
But do you see what I'm saying? There's something about it that stinks. Because, like, if you have Dalvin Cook in a one-player keeper league, you should be getting some pretty hefty offers for him in a trade. You know what I mean? Like, I would have given, I'm not sure if I had anybody to barter with, but my point is you should at least shop him around. And if that didn't happen, that's what stinks. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. I don't know. I just don't think if I'm Cam, is that my keeper anyway?
Yeah, for sure. If
Really?
Cook is, dude, where has Cook gotten drafted the last 2-3 years?
I don't know. I know he's top 5, but
I got him whatever my position was. I think I was 4th last year.
Yep, you were 4th.
I got him at 4. I got him at number 4 because I remember Zeke came off the board and he was still on because I would have drafted Zeke. And I took Cook.
Yeah, and you had a really nice year with him. He's been a top 5 performer, and he's going to be drafted again in the top 5 next year, which means Cam probably wouldn't have a shot at him if he was on the open market next year. Based on, I mean, we'll see. We got 2 more games, games. One thing that did come up, so all that aside, like that was something I just wanted to get your guys' take on. One thing that did come up, and you guys have brought it up, is voting on trades. I am opposed to voting on trades, and I'll tell you why. In a couple of my other leagues, I've seen this happen. When a trade is good, it makes both teams better. We're in agreement on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a trade,
trade,
a good trade, any trade worth doing. If a trade isn't shady, if it's a good trade, both teams improve.
Get something they need.
Yeah, exactly. Both teams get something they need. So that almost never happens between 2 teams that are playing each other that week, right? They're almost always playing 2 different teams. So if the 2 teams making the trade are actually improving, you've already got 2 teams that will likely vote against a good trade for selfish reasons. And I've seen it happen in other leagues because they don't want to play those teams that are getting better that week. And that's so there's already 2 negative votes for a trade that's good. In addition to that, if one team is already really good and they're getting better, there are going to be other people in the league who vote against the trade, even if it is a fair trade, who vote against the trade just because they don't want a good team getting better.
Yeah, but like I know we're saying all this, but we can go like beyond that. We can have the vote, and then if you're still the commissioner, like whoever makes a trade can still lobby to you, I feel, and be all like, no, this trade is fair. And then you can actually, again, we can go to the message board and be like, hey, why did this trade get vetoed? And if people don't have an actual reason and it was them hating, then yeah, push the trade through. You know what I'm saying? Like, but sometimes
you just want to have your voice be heard, which
yeah, because you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, just like you brought it up, yeah, now I don't know, just to get some people to look at it, you know?
Yeah. But so here's the thing. Theoretically, Chris should be terrified of having to do an interpretive dance. Okay. He should be trying to make his team better. If he's not really committed and he's going to end up bailing out on the league anyway, or if Cam also is not really committed and would potentially bail out on the league, we need to weed those people out anyway. The long-term goal is we want to have a scary enough last place penalty that we really never have to worry about collusion. But in order to get to that point, we kind of have to let the league mature, I guess, before we kind of trust everybody that everybody's in it and committed to being in it, you know? So this is, I don't know, this is one of those like early growing pains of the league, I feel like. Whereas in a few years, we probably won't, whether or not Chris and Cam are still involved, we probably won't have these kinds of questions come up. But in other leagues, like a vote, I guess the reason I'm not, you know, like I feel like I'm fair and impartial and I can take my, you know, team hat off and put my commissioner hat on and do each thing impartially. But in other leagues, like the vote is what actually counts for the trade. And I've seen good trades get vetoed and it's not right. Like it's not fair. You know, it's people acting selfishly for their own self-interest. And I don't like putting too much power in the hands of the people who, you know, maybe aren't as invested in the fairness of the league potentially. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right. But I am willing to take anything into consideration. I would say probably if we were going to vote on trades and like have that be the end all be all, and maybe like my vote would be the last, I would say the 2 teams playing those teams would not be allowed to vote. If that's, you know, that particular week, the 2 teams that are stand to lose.
I don't know. Maybe we also have to trust the integrity of our managers. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, I get it, but we got to give some leeway here.
All right.
Trust that we're all trying to win. I agree with what you're saying, but like we got to trust that we're trying to win.
Right, but no, that's the thing. I trust that people are trying to win, but I also trust that the teams playing the teams that might be getting better are trying to win and not actively don't want that trade to happen. That's the thing. See what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you're trying to win, but also like you're trying to make sure that team loses. So
yeah.
Lonnie, did you have something to add?
No, I didn't realize that they were boys. That dynamic had escaped me.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it does kind of vibe like Chris is not super committed. I don't know. Who cares? Let's see. You know,
we'll
what
see
I mean?
how it plays out.
Right. Our rules. We'll see. Like you said, the league will start to like gain its footing. This is our second year that we've done. Second year, right?
Third year.
Third year.
Yeah.
This is our 3rd year. Like it's starting to gain some footing. We're at 14 teams. Like, maybe we won't do 14 teams every year if people drop it. You know what I mean? Like who knows?
I have that's true. Although I do have a wait list of like people who are really super into fantasy. Yeah. Comedians, South Florida comedians who are very into fantasy. Let's see. Lando Gonzalez really wants in. Max Haubenstock really wants in. So those are a couple guys who I think would be really, you know, valued additions to the league if anybody decided they did want to drop out. So
you know what we could do? What would be funny is if one year the last place trophy part of it is having to put the tattoo on my belly.
No, having to shave you.
Oh yeah, okay, yes.
Ooh.
You have to shave me and put it on. Because why should I have to shave myself? It's already too embarrassing.
I like it. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my notes.
Write that down there.
Remind me. Okay, well, we're not gonna forget about this. Remind me of this later.
Yeah.
I just we're gonna get to
To shave my belly.
Shave your belly and administer. Said I like how you're just assuming that you're gonna lose our podcast competition every year.
100%. You
hasn't
going to
been
get
able to
better at DraftKings? It's over. Like, just start picking them out for the next few years. It's done.
It's not looking good at all. But actually something. We'll look at that. We'll look at that later on in later weeks as we progress through the playoffs. But I did kind of glance back at some of our preseason picks, and Vital. One thing that jumped out at me is actually Vital's offensive rookie of the year pick is looking good. Mac Jones. That's
You saw that, right?
No way he's going to beat Jamar Chase.
I think he might, dude. Mac Jones, the last 3 games, dude, the Pats have performed.
Bro, Jamar Chase is outperforming Randy Moss right now. Like, it's incredible.
I didn't know
I
that.
think Jamar Chase is having like a record year for a receiver, not even a rookie. He's balling.
Yes.
I don't know if he's been doing that the last couple of games, but like
I have him in another league, and he has been really great for me. I don't know if he's been doing that last couple. I agree. So maybe that's why. Just the momentum is shift. If Cincinnati's trending down,
right,
and then
I think that.
I'm a big believer in that an MVP or a most valuable player or a rookie of the year, any of that, it should be theoretically the best player on the best team. Like, if you think about the most valuable player, that is like the idea behind the award, right? It's like best player on the best team. And right now, you have to say that
offensive
Mac Jones
rookie to be the quarterback. Like, he's running the offense.
You'd have to say, so who's the best rookie? Is the best rookie on the best team? So right now, I would have to say that that's Mac Jones. Out of all of them, it's probably Mac Jones right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking like they could make a run at one of the top seeds, possibly.
Oh yeah, I think they're number 1 in the AFC right now, right?
No, they're like number 3 in the AFC. Okay. The Titans are still number 1 despite losing, and we'll talk about that. But so how many both number 1 seeds in both conferences fell? Speaking of Titans lost, dude. Even the experts. Now we got we lost our teaser again because once again, like, ridiculous upset. The Titans are on a 6-game winning streak against great teams, like some of the best teams in the NFL. They lost to the Texans, who haven't won since week 1. And I get it was a trap game. Tyrod Taylor's back. I was a little nervous anyway. AJ Brown went out early in that game, which actually changed a lot. Big part of the dynamic on offense. Tannehill threw a bunch of picks after Brown went out. So there are some game situation things that played into it. But the Titans have just looked dominant for 6 weeks in a row. Texans were coming off a bye, I think, also. So it was definitely a trap game for sure.
But also, like, it's not a bad idea to lose that game. Like, if you're the Titans, you take that week off a little bit. You're like, they're not going to beat us in a tiebreaker. They're not going to, we don't really need to win this game. We're number 1 in the AFC. Like, let's save ourselves a little bit. Let's look to the next week. Guys, they do that all the time. I know we like to hear that, like, you play to win every week. That's bullshit. These guys, it's week 10. These guys are hurting. They see the Texans on the schedule. It's like, all right, if we drop one this week, it's not a huge deal. It's not really going to set us back in the playoffs for the most part. So we'll take this week off. And that's what happens. That's how you lose to shittier teams.
Yeah.
Guys don't practice as hard. They're not paying as much attention in the film room. You take the week off.
It was a bad weather game too, which can be difficult. But anyway, experts all over the league everywhere have been saying they've never seen a run of upsets like this in any recent memory in the NFL, which makes me feel a little bit better about the teaser situation.
That's great. That means there's amazing parity. Even the teams with the worst records aren't as bad as they look, honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. I think part of it also is young play, like young quarterback play is inconsistent, but very like some very talented young quarterbacks who aren't playing consistently well have gotten some decent wins. So that's just what you're going to see with some younger quarterbacks. That I think
quarterback plays a huge part of it because the Jets have been playing a lot better since Flacco. Even though the Dolphins, I know Flacco's been putting the ball like where it needs to go. And the Jets, what's his name? That one receiver is just coming out of nowhere.
Elijah Moore, another really good.
Yeah, dude. Like before, when he had Wilson thrown in, he looked like garbage. But now these guys get like 20 points a game.
Yeah. So he's also a rookie, and he started the season injured. So he's been kind of working in gradually, but they were very high on his talent level coming into. I think he was an early second round pick, maybe. He was like a high second. So yeah, he's been blowing up, and he's just incredibly talented, but he was injured to start the year. So that's part of the reason you're seeing that. And then also just getting used to the offense and being in the offense. It was the first week Flacco played though, and he did play well. They still lost. But it was a close game against the Dolphins. I don't know how much we should read into that.
The Dolphins are an amazing football team. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, here we go.
Where are we going? Where are we going? To Truth City?
Delusion Town, pal.
The Dolphins have played a couple pretty decent looking games against okay teams. Let's talk about
the playoffs. We'll see what's happening.
Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor, huh? Lonnie.
Yeah, let's talk about 56 points, 38 from Aaron Rodgers. And this is the only time I've ever seen this happen. Going into last night's game, Sleeper already has me at 100% chance of losing.
It does happen.
Oh, no, like four players left to play for Warren. By the way, I think he's going to score the highest, which is just in
this season.
In the season. Yeah. In the league this season, I think he's going to have that score. Yeah.
Dude, I was looking at his team, and I'm like, how the fuck did he get all
he was last for so long, dude. I remember I used to call him Owen Warren 0-4. Like
Owen
Warren. Got so many waivers.
Bro. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Because let me just read you his team. Like it's ridiculous.
Got to build up everything. He gets
Jalen Hurts, Colin McCaffrey, Jacobs, the running back from Josh Jacobs, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Zach Ertz, Keenan Allen, Leonard Fournette, Chris Boswell, the Eagles defense. This is his bench. You ready for this? Tony Pollard, Nelson Aguilar, Robbie Anderson, Devin Duvernay, and Kadarius Toney. What the fuck? That's like a 10-team league team.
Our only hope is that he doesn't get to the playoffs.
How did
that's a 10-player league roster? How is that possible?
He drafted most of his, I think all of his starters. He drafted. I don't think he traded for anyone.
Unbelievable. Such a good team.
How did we let him?
McCaffrey's back. Yeah, that's really why he was losing. Because McCaffrey wasn't there and he didn't have everyone else filling in.
Man.
And also he's got Jalen Hurts, who is like,
he drafted Hurts really low. Like that was like a 10th round pick or something like that.
Hurts is great. I have him in my other league. No, he's so consistent. I don't think he's ever had a game under 20, dude. Hurts is, I haven't moved him in my other league. He's steady.
He's been killing. And the Eagles have been killing. They've been doing so well. The Eagles just
they could steal it from the Cowboys if the Cowboys aren't careful.
Yeah, at the very least, they could definitely sneak in as a wild card. Right now, they look like they're in good position, especially just knocking off the Saints, because the Saints are going to be one of those other teams that it may come down to a tiebreaker between the Eagles and the Saints, and they've got the head-to-head now. So they look really good. They look really like nobody wants to see them in the playoffs at all right now, I would say. What else we got? Yeah, we talked Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Yeah, dude, Warren's team is going to be so. I don't want to see Warren's team in the playoffs. Fuck that.
I don't mean to hash back, but is Jonathan Taylor the front runner for the MVP right now? I think so, right?
I don't know. I haven't heard it.
I've been hearing that a lot.
Have you?
Who else would it be? Derrick
I've been
Henry's
hearing
out.
that a lot. Yeah,
Kyler
but I
Murray's
don't-
out. Lamar Jackson's out and has not been playing super well, even when he was in. Josh Allen also not playing super well.
Yep.
Tom Brady,
Matt Stafford both dropped a couple games recently.
Aaron Rodgers not going to win the MVP this year.
Dropped a game.
Who is it really?
I think it's going to come. Those three quarterbacks though that we just mentioned, Stafford, Brady, and Rodgers. If one of them runs the table for the rest of the year, and
well, I think you're looking at Mahomes most
balls
likely.
out doing it. Mahomes has had too many turnovers, too many iffy games to win the MVP. They could.
The way
he can turn it around.
The way he's trending right
again,
now, and the Chiefs look fucking great. Which I mean, I don't know why everybody's freaking out. I knew they were going to figure it out eventually, but like they're looking good.
They
I
look.
want to go back to I remember we were talking at the beginning of the season. Nick was like, "Oh, I wasn't so sure the Chiefs would come on top." They're 7-4 in their division, on top of the AFC West,
and that's playing like shit.
Always are going to be, dude.
And that's been them playing like shit. Imagine when they finally start getting together and their defense looked really good yesterday.
They're fine.
No, they're more than fine. That defense showed up big time yesterday. They looked scary yesterday.
The defense looks good. The offense still looked kind of iffy at times, man. Like Mahomes still made some mistakes. He had some errors. He had a fumble. They're lucky they got back.
I mean, he had a fumble because Micah Parsons was like in his kitchen a lot of the game. But like,
I'm just saying, like they aren't all back to the way they were on offense.
No, I mean, I don't think that they're like, it's over. Let's give them the Super Bowl, but
I just don't think
they look good.
They are looking good. No, I mean, they look tough. They definitely could go on a run. I don't think Mahomes is going to win the MVP, even if they run the table, because of his early season. I mean, dude, he still leads the league in turnovers, I think. You can't win the MVP if you lead the league in turnovers. I'm sorry. Even if he ends up, he might still be the best player in the league by the end of the season. They might be the best team in the league by the end of the season, but you're not going to win the MVP for the whole season by doing that. But yeah, they definitely look good. The Raiders implosion has something to do with their, emerging in that. But the Chargers also look really tough. That was a weird game last night against the Steelers. The Steelers shouldn't have been in there.
Did they win?
The Chargers won, right? Chargers won, but it was way closer than it should have been. There's a few like botched plays. There's some weird stuff that happened in order for the Steelers to be able to come back and to be close in that game. The Chargers are a team, they're going to be tough to contend with, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them play the Chiefs again. Packers Vikings, that was an upset, but it wasn't that much of an upset. I was not that surprised that the Vikings beat the Packers. Were you guys?
No, I was.
That was a great game. Dude.
Great game.
Great game. The Vikings have been playing really good football though, and I'm glad to see they finally got a quality win in a close game against a really good team, because now people are going to start taking them seriously, and they should be a playoff team, I think.
Well, they're like, I think they said it yesterday. I think they're like 15 points from being 8-4. Yeah. Like they lost like 3 or 4 games by a last minute field goal. They said it when I was watching the game yesterday. They're like a very small amount of points from being one of the best teams in football. So, they've clearly got something going on. They just can't close out the game, but they're a good team.
Yeah. And
Defense
they did close out.
They've got some of the best receivers in football.
Yep. Kirk Cousins is playing lights out. He is playing so well right now. If he wasn't,
I'm not a huge believer in Kirk Cousins. I think he's a good game manager, and I think he can win football games. But I think if you have Adam Thielen, like if Tua had Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook on his team, they would cover up for a lot of mistakes that he makes. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of got the Minnesota Vikings syndrome, which is they have mediocre quarterbacks that have great receivers, and then that quarterback ends up looking pretty good. Like Darius Culpepper was a good quarterback, but he was not stellar stud, but he looked like one with Randy Moss and Chris Carter.
So Culpepper had a huge arm. He had an enormous arm, and Randy Moss would get open by 5 yards. That's a good recipe. Like you put those two things together.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Yeah. It's
that's not Kirk Cousins. Let's give Kirk Cousins.
Oh, and then when Randy Moss isn't open, we'll just throw it to Chris Carter, who I guess is okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Because he's single covered now. which is great. No, but let's not put Kirk Cousins in that category. Kirk Cousins has also, I think, coming into this week had only thrown 2 interceptions. So let's give Kirk Cousins some credit for actually being a very good, very accurate, and pretty nice arm for as a quarterback. He's good. He's better than anybody gives him credit for, I think.
Well, he's still playing and RG3 isn't, right? So
right. Yeah, he's also making a lot of money too.
Oh my God, RG3 is a commentator now on college football, and he is so annoying to listen to. Like, he is not good. I think he called the UMFSU game, and it was not.
It's not good.
Who does he comment for? ESPN?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was who did the UMFSU game, and he was just like, he was too cool. You know, when those commentators, they try too much like slang bullshit, and I'm like, dude, shut up and call the game. Like, I don't
want to hear that. That's funny. I'm going to throw a name out at you, and I actually think Micah Parsons could end up winning Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's possible, right?
Possible.
I mean, I don't know who else is playing better on any defense than he is, but let me just throw a fun name out at you. And it's going to depend. Obviously, there's a lot more football to be played. Darius Big Play Slay has scored 3 touchdowns this year.
Monster.
3 touchdowns. And he has always been a ball. I've always loved him. On Detroit, he was on some bad defenses, but he always balled out. And I don't know what the rest of his statistics look like, but he had another house call yesterday. He's a big part of why I think that Eagles team has turned it around on defense. And man, he's a guy who's like has flown under the radar for a lot of his career in Detroit. I would love to see someone like that. I would love to see Darius Slay, defensive back, win a Defensive Player of the Year. So
I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Like, I think when we were talking about Trayvon Diggs, like, if you're going to win whoever the Defensive Player of the Year is, you're breaking games.
Right.
It's like you are changing the course of several games. You're not just having one game. Like, sometimes Khalil Mack is good for one game a year, where he's like that. Chandler Jones is good for one game a year, like that. But like a TJ Watt, where like multiple games are chained, the result is changed by his performance. Aaron Donald, JJ Watt at his peak. Is Darius Slay doing that? I don't know, because unfortunately the Eagles are not getting a lot of like national TV games. Right. So I'm not watching a tremendous amount of Eagles games, which sometimes those guys suffer from. Right. The fact that he's scoring touchdowns means that committee now is going to go back and watch those games.
Yes.
So it does. They say that like the scores and the pretty plays bring the attention to you, and it's true. And unfortunately,
Yeah. And so
I think it would be cool.
I think it would be great. It would be, and he's such an underdog as far as that. I mean, he's always been like a stud, and makes a lot of money, but
also fuck the Eagles and everyone that plays for them.
That's fair. That's also fair. Except for him. I just love Slay. I
love the Eagles because they beat the Pats for me one year. Love them.
I like the Eagles. I'll admit, I have some Eagles that I was a huge fan of. Like, I love T.O. always. I was a big T.O. fan. I always liked Brian. What's his name? Brian Westbrook.
Oh yeah.
I love Deshaun Jackson. I was a big Deshaun Jackson fan. Like, I hated him so much when he did that falling back into the end zone thing, but that was so cool, man. Like, that was so
it was so great,
so badass. So great. Jeremiah Trotter, Brian Dawkins, like there were some Asante Samuel, like there were some Eagles that I was a fan of.
Yeah. There were
Marshawn Lattimore, or
no, not Lattimore.
There was a safety that went back and forth with the Saints. He won the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Oh, right. I know who you're talking.
Also from Ohio State, like Marshawn Lattimore.
He's
Marshawn Lattimore. Are you sure?
No, Marshawn Lattimore is their current cornerback.
Yeah, but didn't Marshawn Lattimore go Saints, Eagles, Saints?
No. Lattimore has always been with the Saints. He was drafted by the Saints. No, you're thinking.
You know who I'm thinking about.
I do.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, he was the one who he had a touchdown in the Super Bowl that they won.
He was like a first round pick out of Ohio State. He was so good. He was an Omega, and he used to do this when he scored.
I can't remember the name.
the brand.
I do remember, yeah. I remember who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I keep wanting to say Jenkins, something Jenkins, but
Malcolm Jenkins.
Malcolm Jenkins. That was it. Yeah, that's what he said. Marshawn, Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, he was great.
Yep.
He was definitely great. And he was
So
an
good.
Eagle he was an Eagle for a minute. I think he won a Super Bowl with both teams actually.
I think he did.
Yeah, he was great. How about let's talk a little Cam Newton. We talked about him last week. Consensus was not going to be fantasy relevant. He had a monster game for fantasy relevance this past week. He still lost to his old coach, Ron Rivera, but it was interesting to see him back on the, which is not a surprise, but it was interesting to see him back on the field. He was making good throws, which was kind of always the knock on him. And then also just, his running ability, his rushing touchdowns. Are you buying in to Cam if you need a quarterback this week?
Who do they play?
Who do they? That's a good question. Let me see. Who do they play? Let's see. They play Miami.
Mm.
I kind of like
Miami's
it.
defense
That's the case. I'm actually going to say no.
Yeah.
Miami's defense has looked pretty decent.
Yeah, especially against Cam. I think that pressure, he's going to make mistakes. And that secondary it's going to be bad fantasy points. Yeah.
The question is is Cam Newton going to have to throw? If you make Cam Newton throw at this stage in his career, it's not going to go well for him most likely. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, but
that's Cam Newton.
You got McCaffrey though. Like McCaffrey takes so much attention, and he's got good receivers. He's got fast receivers.
More Robbie Anderson.
His receivers are lightning fast. They can get separation, and then you got McCaffrey. It's like, what do you do now that McCaffrey's back in that offense? It's a problem. They are a problem, and the defense gets him the ball back too. He's going to have opportunities. Let's just put it out there. He's fantasy relevant. I think if you're desperate for a quarterback, maybe you take a shot on him. I'll be honest with you. I would consider, although I don't think he's available in our league, I would consider playing him over Dak next week. Dak got me negative points. Negative points. It was brutal. That's the second game out of 3 that Dak has been awful, that the Cowboys have been awful. Lonnie, give me some good news. Something.
Amari Cooper will be back next week.
On
CeeDee Lamb will be back next week.
Whoa, back up.
Yeah.
On Thursday. Are you saying they're both going to play on Thursday?
I don't know about CeeDee Lamb because I forgot about Thursday, but no, Amari Cooper should be back. He missed 2 games because of COVID. He has to quarantine for 10 days, and he's already missed 2 games. So he should be back.
Yeah, that clears it.
I hope he's all right. If Cooper's back, I also heard Tyron Smith is expected to be back as well. And that was probably.
And also, I don't know if you watched a lot of the game, but like Dak was definitely off, but a lot of drops from some of these other guys, Cedric Wilson, and the guy that also looks like CeeDee. He's like 85 something Brown. Yeah. I was like, dude, you guys are like you guys don't want to win. And also the offensive line looked terrible yesterday.
Bad. So bad.
It just looked bad, man. But you realize how important Tyron Smith is to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
But he should be back. Michael Gallup had a drop, I think, in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of things. You only lose by 10 points. You start looking back at stuff like that, and you're like, okay, the game wasn't necessarily as some games they look better than what they are at the end, and then also have you know that last week Dak scored 43 points against the Atlanta Falcons, so he looked great
against which team?
That's true. Yeah, that was nice.
Okay.
Right. So Lonnie, what you're saying, Lonnie, is that I should definitely play Dak against you this week in fantasy.
Lonnie, would you play Dak or Cam this week?
Who do the Cowboys play again this week? Remind me.
They play the Raiders.
Giants?
They play the Raiders on Thursday. That's a real nice recipe for a get healthy game.
Yeah. So the Raiders, they're going to throw the ball, right? So you're going to throw the ball. It's going to be a scoring game. Yeah, I would play Dak over Cam.
We don't have.
Based on Lonnie's QB picks, I'm betting opposite. Check in next week.
We don't have options in our league though. Somebody's already sitting on Cam. I think the top option.
I think it's Warren, possibly. No, it's not. I would have just seen it. I looked at his team, but somebody, yes, maybe. I don't know. Somebody has him. I saw.
Someone has him. I'm riding Dak.
I may get a quarterback this.
I got to ride Dak the rest of the way. Like I named my team after him, Fatal.
It's a long season. You're gonna have.
It's a long
games. He hurt his calf.
No, I know, but we're also now it's a short season for our fantasy. Like for as far as we're concerned, like this is crunch time now. Like there are a
lot. This loss this week really sucked.
That was brutal. Between there right now, I'm looking at. Let's assume Turzo's in because he's got a lot of points and he just got his 8th win. Okay, I've got 7 wins. There's a bunch of teams that are kind of come out with 6 wins and a bunch more with 5. I think out of 11 teams, I need to stay ahead of 5 of them. That's what I'm looking at. Like, which is
how many playoff spots do we have? 6.
6. We only have 6 playoff spots. So of the 5 and 6 win teams, the 5, I'll throw myself in there because I'm a 7-win team, and I could still get knocked out. Of the 5 to 7 win teams, there are, I think, half will not make the playoffs or something around there. Maybe less than, maybe 5 out of 6 or 5 out of 11 or something like that. I don't know. It's
our league is so close. Here,
really,
up to place 11 is have 5 wins. That means they're 2 games back from you.
Right.
Up to the 11th spot.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like anything can happen. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, I like where I'm at because the teams with more wins, I have more points than. The teams that have more points, I have more wins than for the most part. But man, like I don't know if I can lose out and still make the playoffs. I think I probably can. I think 7 wins is enough with my point totals as long as I keep scoring reasonably high. But
how many games do we have left?
We have 2. No, we have 2 more regular season games. That's the thing. Like,
this game's still up in the air for me. So
yours is huge, and I actually really need you to lose because you're one of those teams that's like, if you like,
yeah, I'm number 3 right behind.
I know we're neck and neck with it. Points is pretty close. Like you,
I think if I win, I might overtake you in points again.
Right. We're gonna be like we're neck and neck in points, and wins. If you win, we'll be tied for wins. So we'll be basically tied if you win.
No, I'll be in 2nd place if I win.
We'll see. But basically, like we're in terms of like how close it is.
Yeah.
So we got there's a lot that he's so and Lonnie, you've got me at this next week, and then you got Vital the week after that. So basically, you need to win out against us if you're gonna have a chance to, I think, make the playoffs. We got a first write-in of the night. We can hold any thoughts on that if you guys come back to that. Let's see what we got. Smokey the Cats. What's up, guys? Russell choked once again. Should I play Cousins or Newton? We were just talking about this. By the way, thank you for watching. We also have a comment. He said also Gesicki or Fant for week 12. All right, we're going to get to that. Also, Matt wrote in. He writes in, F this season.
Also, tight on picks.
Totally reasonable comment, Matt. Thank you for your input and thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. Smokey the Cat. All right, let's get to your question. Russell choked once again. Dude, I don't like Russell. I said at the beginning of the year, I've had him a couple of years. He has been on a bad slide the second half of the season for years now. So yeah, definitely I'm ready to bail on Russell if I'm you. Would you play Cousins or Newton this coming week, guys? We were talking about Newton. Newton's got a matchup against Miami. Kirk Cousins has been balling, but he's at San Francisco. Those are both pretty tough defenses. And they're both road games. What would you guys go? Would you go Cousins or Newton next week?
I would go to Kirk Cousins.
I'm with you. I think Cousins. Lonnie?
Kirk Cousins. Yep.
Smokey the Cat, you got a unanimous vote for Kirk Cousins. But if you end up with Newton, I still would play Newton over Wilson, honestly. I don't
sure
think
anything.
Yeah, I love the upside of Newton with McCaffrey, because McCaffrey, any touch is could be a house call, and he throws it a lot to him. Next question, Gesicki or Fant? Once again, let's look at the matchups. Those are both really talented tight ends, by the way. I like both of those guys a lot. I've got Fant in one of my leagues. Let's see, who are they playing? Gesicki, we just figured that out. Who are the Dolphins are playing? The Panthers.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough. The Panthers have a good defense. Who's Fant? Who's he got? This is where the Broncos playing. Where are the Broncos?
Lonnie, you have Gesicki, right?
Yes, sir.
Would you
Broncos
play him or Fant next week?
Fan plays for the Broncos, right?
Who are the Broncos playing? Oh, Broncos are playing the Chargers. I think honestly, I think I like Fant over Gesicki next week for the matchups.
I agree.
Gesicki, the Dolphins offense, I just don't trust anybody on that offense except maybe Waddle right now. Gesicki has an enormous amount of talent. I think he's got a really bright future. But Fant's been putting up pretty decent numbers for a tight end. And I just like that matchup better. I like, I think I think it's going to be a shootout against the Chargers. They're going to have to throw it, and they're going to have to get Fant involved in order to win that game. Let's see. Matt's got a couple other questions. LOL, my inactives this week: Kamara, Cordero Patterson, Mitchell, Hollywood Brown, Tannehill. Okay, yeah, dude. Clearly your team's.
I think you're taking an L.
But he's
named 6 players.
Matt's got a question. Those were his inactives this past week, I think. It was a bad week.
I also got fucked by inactives this week. I'll just say DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
I got fucked.
Cordell Patterson, man, my main running back.
I know. You still might pull this off, though. We're going to get to what you need to have happen tonight in a minute. Matt's got a question. Tannehill, Russ, or Cam? Interesting. So
Tannehill.
Not Russ. Tannehill, if AJ Brown is back. AJ Brown's one of those injuries. We're going to get to the injury report in a minute. He's still questionable. I think if Tannehill, if AJ Brown is not playing, I would go with Cam Newton. That's just me. Smokey the Cat. I'm up 15 points. Opponent has Tampa Bay defense. Do you think I'll get the win? Depends on how much those defenses score. But yeah, I think you will. Yeah. Matt already lost badly. All right. So as far as let's get back to our league stuff. This is it. We're in crunch time. Lonnie, if you don't beat me next week, you're done. And then you got Vital. Who do you have next week, Vital? Who's yours?
Sorry.
Remember who you got?
Looking at.
Oh, you got Turzo next week, Vital.
So I do. Shit.
Yeah, dude, you really need the win. It's going to be a tough couple weeks. I get Brian G.
I think I'm going to beat Turzo. I think he has a bye.
No one has a bye. What do you mean? There's no buys.
No, like one of his players has a bye week that week.
Okay. So even still, though, his team's loaded. All right, we got one more question. Cade Smith, thank you for watching the show, Cade. He says Rodgers for Burrow and Swift. I say yes to that. Swift has been balling out. I know you guys don't realize because you probably don't have him on any of your teams. Swift.
No, I have Swift.
Do you have Swift on one of your teams?
Yeah.
Okay. He has been
very reliable every game, dude.
Every game he's breaking something big. I believe in the Bengals offense going forward with Burrow.
Wait, so he's giving up Aaron Rodgers for this, right?
I would rather have, I don't know what the situation is. I would rather have Burrow and Swift than Rodgers. I would definitely trade Rodgers for Burrow and Swift, personally.
Yes. So Burrows is out of the equation for me. You could pick up, I think, a better quarterback than that. But
I don't know, man.
I don't think how good has Burrow's been? I haven't been paying attention. I had him at the beginning of the season in another league, and he was stinking it up.
I think he's been pretty good, especially since Chase has been picking it up. But I like it. I would take it for sure. If you need a running back, I would definitely take that trade. Mm-hmm. Swift has been really consistent, really good.
He's a true running back. Like, you can always trust him, dude. Like, there's never been a problem with him.
Which is crazy because
he's a lot like Mixon for me. Like,
yeah, Mixon's been great too.
Eddie, not a lot of flash, but these guys work.
Right. Which is crazy because he's on a bad team and he's still great numbers. So Yeah, I definitely like it. All right, let's get to we got to keep going, keep the show moving here. Let's get to our quick injury report. CeeDee Lamb.
Just reading it now. He hasn't cleared it yet, obviously. Looks like it's going to be a game time decision. Amari Cooper is out for Thanksgiving. So
Ooh. Ew. Do I still play Dak?
Looks like Cedric Wilson and
Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup are going to be the top 2 receivers right now.
I guess the only thing, if Tyron Smith is back and those guys are at least getting practice reps with the first team, they theoretically, they're both talented guys. Gallup's good, Ced Wilson's good, and the Raiders defense is bad. I feel like I have to go with that because we don't have any other options in our league, and I don't have a backup on my team.
I mean, you don't have a backup quarterback right now.
No, I never carry a backup. I almost never carry a backup quarterback. Let's see. Jarvis Landry also exited. That's fantasy relevant. AJ Brown, we talked about him. X-rays negative, but not for sure going to play. That would screw me over big time. Michael Carter was on the injury report, and Jamal Agnew, which was a really hot waiver wire pickup a couple weeks ago for the Jags. Have been playing really well. He's on injured reserve, out for the rest of the season with a bad hip injury. Couple guys probably coming back this week. We already mentioned Tyron Smith, which would help be a huge boost for the Cowboys. But once again, short week, playing on Thursday, Thanksgiving. Logan Thomas is probably going to come back for Washington. We haven't heard that name in a while. He was I don't want to say he was like top 5 tight end last year. So that could be interesting if he gets back on the field. Kareem Hunt supposed to be back this week. Big news for Kareem Hunt owners. Waivers, got a couple waiver targets for you guys this week based on last guys who played well last week and might be available in your league. Elijah Moore, obviously, if he is still available in a league, you probably want to go get him. He's been crushing. Jamison Crowder actually had a good game, even though Elijah Moore had a great game. Nelson Aguilar had a really big game for the Patriots. It's hard to guess which one of those receivers is going to do well, but it kind of seems like they're all going to start doing better with the emergence of Mac Jones. Devontae Freeman had a nice game, picked himself up a touchdown with the Ravens. Looks like he's their RB1. If you need a running back, you're throwing him in at flex. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had a really big game for the Packers. It looks like he's back healthy.
He's definitely going to be available again, too. Yeah.
He's probably available. He's probably going to be a pretty big pickup.
I checked his numbers. He wasn't picked up in like 10% of leagues.
Yeah. So that was a kind of a surprise. Marquise Goodwin had a big play for the Bears. He's a kind of a dart throw flyer, but he's got the speed to maybe break a big one. Traquan Smith with the Saints had a pretty decent game. And then we already mentioned Cam Newton as a quarterback pickup. All right, speaking of quarterback, let's get to the quarterback situation, guys. Lonnie killing it in I'd rather have Kaepernick than again, picking a quarterback who didn't play. I don't know what happened with Jared Goff. Was that just, I think, it was an oblique. That's right. It was an oblique injury. So Lonnie got the big 0. Vital, you picked Trevor Lawrence, scored the 5.6, which was pretty good. But once again, Justin Fields, 1.46. He got knocked out of the game. I got lucky. He probably would have outscored Lawrence. So
they played well, yeah. They won though.
Who won?
The Bears.
No, did they? I thought the Ravens won. No,
the Ravens lost.
No, you're right, because Andy Dalton came in and actually played well.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton looked like he should have been the starter all along.
Because the Ravens lost 2 weeks in a row. They lost to the Dolphins and the Bears.
Yeah, that's right. No, they looked like dog shit. But it really was. It was Andy Dalton came in and gave that offense a pretty big spark.
Yeah.
That definitely hurt me. All right, so Lonnie, you get first pick again. Just like usual. Who do you like? Let's see what we got for week 12. Bad quarterbacks.
All right.
Who's coming off?
Zach Wilson might come back.
Are they saying he'll play if he does?
When he comes back, I don't think he starts. Flacco played really well.
Yeah, but I mean, they're at this point they're trying to develop talent. So I'd play Wilson if I were the Jets. They're not going to make the playoffs. Let's see who's coming off a bye. The Rams are coming off a bye. The Broncos are coming off a bye. Teddy Bridgewater's been playing well. You're probably not going to go with him.
Russell's playing in Washington. It's pretty pressure.
I mean, do I take a chance on Tim Boyle if Jared, say that Jared Goff doesn't start again?
Goff, it said, was probably going to start, but there's no guarantee. I think that's one of those. It's an iffy situation. Yeah, who's Russell playing? Russell's been terrible. Fields is questionable.
Washington.
Colt McCoy has been playing well. Oh, he's on a bye anyway. Yeah, Washington defense hasn't been great. Matt Ryan's got Jacksonville. Matt Ryan I don't know. Did he score any points last? They got, as a team collectively, they didn't score any points. He's had a tough go, but once again, Jags, these low scoring quarterbacks. This is kind of.
Derek Carr has been stinking it up too. It might be an option against the Cowboys under that pressure, and on Thursday night, short week.
Yeah, that's true. Carr's just got so much.
Oh, there are 3 Thursday night games. Oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
No, it's Thanksgiving, dude. We get football all day.
I was trying to figure out why the Thursday games might hurt them.
Yeah, you guys want to play again? We'll do another Thursday special Thanksgiving DraftKings on Thursday. You cool with that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Depending on the time.
We do it we did it last year. All right, we'll
do it after the Cowboys lose, so I can talk to Lonnie.
No, we'll play. No, here's the thing. So for the Thanksgiving DraftKings special, we'll do all 3 games. We're not going to do the showdown captain mode. All 3 games will be in play, and there won't be a captain. Just so you guys know what you're looking at when I put that contest together.
Great, so I can lose in a different format. That'll be exciting.
It'll be more fun too. I feel like because you're almost getting it in the regular and the showdown captain mode. So I want to throw you a curveball.
Yeah, I am. Oh, you see, right? Like I have somewhat, and my roster today is like I also did some research, and I'm like, I think I've like kind of, like
I'm
figured it out
excited.
Somewhat.
I'm excited to see what you've got.
I'm me too, dude. It's like I look forward to it all year.
It is fun every week. Let's see what else we got here.
All right, dude. I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence. I just don't know. I'm in no position to take any risk. Is it mathematically possible for me to even get second place at this point?
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. You're talking about you could literally make up 4 points per week. Well, I mean, if me and Vital split the second places and you get first place in every contest from here on out, because remember, we're going to play all the way through the playoffs. You could easily catch up. It doesn't take that long if you start winning.
I mean, I know.
You need to start winning. It's like not just like
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You need to start winning.
Don't say that.
Not with that attitude.
You just need to go for first place.
All you need to do is.
Oh, is that it? I have to go for first place.
What have you been doing?
That's what I have to do. Is try to win. Oh, okay. Well,
you just need to start trying harder. That's all.
That's how you do it. You try to win. Oh, because I have been trying to get tattoos placed all over my body the whole season. I thought that was the game. All right. Yeah, let's do Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. I like it. Tua's not a bad. Tua against Carolina might actually be a dud.
Foolish.
I know you're not going to pick him, Vital. Who are you going to go? You got next pick, Vital. There's a lot of questionable.
I'm going to go with, because he's my quarterback in fantasy and I've been watching him play, Derek Carr.
You're taking Carr. Wow.
I think he's going to have a bad game. It's a short week. I think it's too much pressure, and the Cowboys need to play well, especially in prime time. I think they're going to go hard after him.
That's true.
God. Yeah, the Cowboys are going to have a bounce. I'm expecting a bounce back week for the Cowboys this week, because right now they're on like a teeter, and they got to start. They got to start. If they're going to make a push, it's now. So It's a big game. America's team playing on Thanksgiving. Like, if they're going to step up, it's going to be now. So
against like the most hated franchise in the NFL right now.
Gosh, you guys aren't leaving me a lot of good options here. And by good options, I mean bad options. I think I'm going to take Baker against the Ravens.
Yeah. They got to shut him down. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing either, and I hope they don't shut him down this week, but he's questionable. It's definitely possible. Like that's kind of a long shot.
They won last week, right?
Yeah, they beat the Lions, but it was like he looked terrible. He was bad in the win against the Lions.
He's hurt. He's very hurt.
He's really hurt. I mean, his
shoulder's done. I don't know why he's trying to play through it.
Doing it.
They're not in the playoff run, are they?
Yeah, they are. Oh, they're definitely still in the playoff mix for sure. In the
aren't they like 5-5?
6-5, I think. After the they're definitely in the mix for a wild card seed for sure. And if you get Chubb and Hunt healthy, I mean that team can be.
You still don't have a quarterback if you get them healthy. It doesn't.
I know
it's fucked up. You should be playing.
The thing is, he's not going to get healthy from this injury, but it's just a matter of pain tolerance, I think, because it's a torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder, which hurts like a motherfucker. But shouldn't affect his throwing motion. So I don't know. When he takes hits though, man.
That's not how pain works, man. Pain affects you every step.
Which is also true. You're absolutely right about that. All right. So let's get to tonight's game. Who do you guys like? Bucks or Giants?
Giants. Giants by 28.
This motherfucker.
Dude, it's that kind of year right now, though.
It could happen, though.
It could definitely happen.
Who has Tom Brady's number is the New York Giants. You know?
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Okay. But let's temper those expectations. Jason Pierre-Paul is now on Tom Brady's team. Okay. So listen, he had issues in the past.
No, the Bucks are going to win by 30 points. It's going to be embarrassing for the Giants. The Giants are awful.
I agree. Although Saquon might be playing tonight, I think Saquon is playing tonight.
Doesn't matter, dude. Saquon is not a miracle
worker. Saquon, low key. I like him more.
You what?
Booker's been better than Saquon.
Saquon hasn't been playing.
No, but I'm saying when I've watched, Saquon has played. In the games he's played, he has been shitty. And Booker is even outshining him, even when they play together. Booker might be next year. I think Booker might take his spot. Like, mark my words.
Oh, I think Saquon is most likely done in New York.
Yeah, I agree. He's not been running well, even when he has.
No, I think it's just like it's time to move on. Like you've had what? This is his 4th year now. He's been hurt. He's been banged up. Bro. Like if I was him, I'd want to get the fuck out of there.
If I was New York, I would probably want to refinance that situation and not overpay him. But I don't think anybody's going to overpay him now. So,
right, that's what I'm saying. Is like if I was him, I'd go to Green Bay. I would go to San Francisco. I would go to
where you can make a difference. Yeah,
you know what I mean. I would go play. I'd go to Dallas. Like I would go play for some team that I can win on. Why not?
The Cardinals. Oh, could you imagine them on the Cardinals? Boy, do they have a salary?
That's what I'm saying. Like an actual team. Right. They've never blocked for him 1 year of his career. Like he has not had a good offensive line ever, which is the death of a quarterback, of a running back.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Like I don't care who you are, you're not gonna be that. You're not gonna be good on a mediocre offensive line team.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay across the board.
Yeah, Tampa Bay across the board. All right. So who do we got for captains?
I think I pick Mike Evans.
God damn it! I thought I was being slick.
What? You picked Mike Evans?
I thought I was being slick.
You guys ready for a curveball? I took Tom Brady.
Wow.
You guys thought you were all gonna trick me. Oh, we're gonna take a wide receiver.
I was not trying to trick you. I do this often, but also I need Mike Evans to do well because he's also my fantasy guy. And then I need to believe that the entire way through. It's
right. You got it. Yeah, sinks into your heart when you pick him. Okay. Well, all right. You guys are on the same captain. I got Brady. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see your lineups. I'm pretty excited about my lineup.
Watch, it's going to be the exact same lineup.
It's between you two. I don't think it is, because the Giants were tough. Picking Giants is difficult this week. If you picked any at all, which I picked a couple. All right, cool. So are you guys coming?
All right. I don't care. I'm done. I picked one Giant. Is that wrong? Is that a bad idea? I did one.
No,
Really?
I don't think that's terrible. Honestly, I think
I
did not.
Giants. I think it's fine.
I picked a couple Giants, but I didn't spend much money on. Most of my money.
Yeah, for their value, I think they're going to get
Right.
way more points.
My money.
Yeah, like I picked Kadarius Toney. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
maybe
mean, that's actually good. He's been balling, so I think that's
Right.
probably pretty solid.
and he was super low on the
Yeah,
thing. I could have gotten Kenny Galladay, but he hasn't been playing super well this year. And I'm like, I don't
know. This game is well. It's gonna make this game interesting. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
All right.
I like watching Tony. He's exciting.
He is. He's good. Yeah. So any before we get going, any big plans? Any big shows? Any plans for Thanksgiving? What do you guys got going on?
No.
No.
Are you cooking again, Nick? You're doing the big feast.
I'm gonna
at your
cook at
house?
home. Yeah. If you guys want to come over, you're welcome. You're invited. Watch football.
really?
All right, I appreciate that. I mean, I'm gonna be with family. I know I'm here with my grandma
I
and stuff,
figured that.
but
Yeah, cool. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's got family.
I'll probably be a family too, but I don't know if we're out late. I'll come by.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot me a text. Let me know. I'm cooking on Wednesday, so I just eat on and watch football on Thursday. So that's what
Nice.
I'm doing. Yeah, it's a good time. I think one of my buddies is coming over, maybe one of my neighbors, but mostly just lounging around. So I'll send you guys the DraftKings before Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a great holiday. If I don't see you before then, I don't know if you're gonna come for any of the mics tonight or tomorrow, but you're welcome.
Where's your mic tomorrow, Nick?
Brews Room. It's in Pompano. It's also in Pompano. It's been really
All right.
good. 2 weeks in a row. It's been great. We've had a great audience. It's been super fun. So, yeah, you guys want to come? Let me know, or just show up. Doesn't matter. Anything else going? You want to promote before we get going? Anything shows wise?
No, but I want to ask you something off the air.
Okay. Hold on one second.
Ooh.
All right, then in that case, we are ending. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. Thank you everybody who wrote in. Hope you guys, your teams do well this week. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday, and good luck the rest of the way. You can always watch us on
Thanksgiving,
YouTube.
guys.
Yes, you can watch us on YouTube. You can also listen on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all this other stuff. We're on all the podcast sites. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. And if we give you good advice, I know you're not going to tell your friends, which is why nobody else knows about us. So thank you for that. All right, we'll see you guys next time.